They used to call Fort Morris Little Pittsburgh. So it was just an industrial area that, you know, people, I guess, what can I say this? They shitted on.
A quarter of the kids in this neighborhood suffer from asthma in some form or another.
It's all this pollution is affecting kids.
¿Tú tienes hijos? ¿Estás preocupada por la salud de tus hijos?
What I said is that we're not going to tolerate. Okay, we're not going to tolerate no more.
Something's got to be done. We got to save our own lives.
It's really environmental racism. Asthma Alley between the South Bronx and El Barrio. It's really environmental racism. Polluting things are in community of color and poor, uneducated communities. And they put it there because they figure these people are just a bunch of and they won't fight back, and then if they do fight.
My name is Luz Maria Madrigal, and I'm working in San Jerome's community.
I am the Assistant Director of Freedom Community Center in the Bronx. I'm also the Chairman of the Environmental Committee of Community Board #1 in the Bronx.
So my name is Jaime Rivera. I'm the director of the South Bronx Clean Air Coalition.
I've been living over here in this community for 40 years, and I've been active organizing for 29 years.
My involvement with the struggle of the 4 power plants has been since its proposal to be built.
I'm a long-term member of BEAC, Bronx Environmental Action Coalition.
We have to tell you a little story about where we come from.
It's simple mathematics. Check it out.
This community is the poorest congressional district in the country. I would say 75% of the population is unemployed and or on some form of government assistance welfare. They're struggling. They have an epidemic of AIDS, an epidemic of drugs here.
It's a diverse community, very diverse. We have Mexican, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Afro-American, so it's a mix.
The Bronx is being looked at, in my opinion, as a dumping ground for most of the environmental concerns of the rest of the city, and sometimes the state.
So that happens in so many ways. Literally speaking, this is an area where you've got waste transfer stations. I mean, right now they're proposing to expand one facility. The New York Organic Fertilizer Company is planning to expand from 3,000 tons to 4,000 tons of garbage that they're going to process in the area.
The governor was looking for a place to put these 10 GE power plants, and he put 4 of them in one neighborhood just the blocks apart, the South Bronx.
When I see it, I believe it.
We'd like to get a tour of the facilities. Theoretically, these are state-of-the-art, clean, efficient, energy efficient, so we just want to see what it looks like. We were thinking, well, maybe we could find something inside that we could use against them. We'd say, well, this doesn't look all that safe, or something like that. But they wouldn't even let us in.
They say they have state-of-the-art plans. You know, that does not mean anything. That because you have a state-of-the-art does not mean that it will not hurt your community. All it means is that the latest equipment. And as far as we know, they could be running a power plant with Scotch tape and telling us it's the state-of-the-art plan.
You know, we don't have any reports about emissions from the plant. I'm guessing that they've got something to hide.
They say they're so clean. Why we're not allowed to go in there in a tour? We're not terrorists. We're community people.
What the government agencies do is they allow them to do their own little study. And so what they do is they'll test out for chemicals that they know there's very little of or there's none of. And then they'll come out and say, well, see, we did a study. We did a study on our own, by the way. And we found out that this chemical's not even here. So Even though we know this chemical causes cancer, we know it's not here, so it's not going to cause cancer. But they don't tell you it's the other 99 chemicals that are there that are going to cause you cancer, that are going to make the asthma rate worse. They're going to make our kids have learning disabilities. They don't tell you that.
Thinking the same thing myself, smog in the city ain't no good for your health.
Do you know anybody who's been personally affected by the pollution in this area?
Yes, I have my whole entire family. My sister, for example, has asthma, and had asthma ever since she was born.
We just want to talk about how all the people we know who have asthma, because there's a lot.
Mi hijo lo tiene, entonces esa es la preocupación. Tengo que correr a la sala de emergencia cuando él tiene un ataque de asma y especialmente es cuando viene de la escuela.
A lot of people in our school have asthma, and one girl, her name is Paola. I believe it was this year, she had an asthma attack, and it was real serious. They called the ambulance.
My name is Denise. I am a chronic asthmatic.
Her neighbor, Annie, she has asthma. She's 10. And her little sister is 7, and she has asthma too.
I remember one day actually seeing about 3 different people who walked around with oxygen tanks. They suffer from asthma very badly, and I knew that I didn't need to convince these people that these power plants do not need to be in this area.
Because I see people walking around with their pumps in their pockets. Jamila, and my friend's younger sister, she's 4 or 5. She has asthma too.
I have a lot of my nephews and nieces. They are born in this community. 3 months after, 6 months that they born, they already diagnosed with asthma. The senior, I know people already. They had died of asthma attack. So you're saying better to have more electricity? It's all right to have more electricity, and at the same time people are dying?
It's all this pollution is affecting kids. They have lead into the air. They drop things into the water. They don't bother to tell people, you're drinking the water and, 6 years or 10 years down the line, you find you got some kind of disease and you're trying to figure out how you got this. The fishes we're eating, that we go out and fish, because a lot of our people go out here into these rivers and fish, and they don't think there's something wrong with the fishes, and they come back home and cook them and eat them. People are dying of lung cancer, and they never smoked in their lives. And I believe it's the pollution they have here that's affecting them. I believe it's things like the power plants that affects the community, and the disregard of these agencies and the government officials, elected officials, and government agencies like DEC that are supposed to protect the community, but do not protect them. They say, yeah, it's okay. You want to build a power plant here, build another power plant here, build a power plant here, build an incinerator here. Just keep dumping on these people. They're too uneducated and they won't fight back.
A quarter of the kids in this neighborhood suffer from asthma in some form or another. That equates with a number of lost school days, which then leads to child care issues if the parent is single or if they're together, if they're working. And so it has a drastic economic impacts on a family just from missed school days. Then there are no jobs down here because of all the pollution. There's 4 power plants. They're pretty much automated. There's no jobs for the community. There's a lot of garbage down here. There's very little jobs, and those that are here are very low quality and not high paying and very dangerous. So the land use issues, it's not only the pollution, it's the jobs that are lost when an area is stigmatized as being a dumping ground.
Just to one side of this remnant of a little bridge is the Niska power plants, and then there's some more power plants right over here, which interferes with a small pier being rebuilt at 132nd Street. When I was a kid, there was always at least 2 families on that pier fishing very happily and having a great time. Now we can't even see the water without having to look through a fence.
The state should do all it can to reduce pollution. It should be getting kids off these yellow school buses and into renewable fuel transportation. They should be investing in wind, solar, turbine, and hydrogen fuel cell technology instead of these old General Electric fossil fuel power plants on our waterfront. So we want the offsets. We also want the power plants removed.
But we haven't taken, I guess, a complete stand on it yet.
We don't have the economic power. Do we have the political power to stop the imposition of 4 power plants in one area?
What is the councilman's position on the 4 power plants?
God. Honestly, I don't know, like, it's a fresh issue that we haven't, I wouldn't call it a fresh issue, but we haven't taken, I guess, a complete stand on it yet. I mean, we're always working with our environmental justice groups, so what they tell us is what we'll do.
We have politicians that'll yes us to death and say, yes, well, I'm with the community, we're going to fight for the community, but they're in bed with these big businesses, and they go out and do what they want. They let them get away.
It's just the idea of having these elected officials, what I call, again, the huckle and jive for people in the community, where we're getting a lot of people who are, a lot of elected officials who are saying, yes, we understand your concern, yes, we agree with your fight, but there's no resolutions and there's no meaning. We're having meeting after meeting and meeting after meeting, but we're looking for progress.
Who's profiting from having those 4 power plants there?
GE, General Electric, billions of dollars. They were the one who built the generators, make billions of dollars.
These power plants essentially ultimately go back to Governor George Pataki. The plants are the work of the New York Power Authority. The trustees of the New York Power Authority are all appointees of the governor of the state of New York. It requires approval and environmental sign-off by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, whose commissioner, whose agency head, is also appointed by the governor. Ultimately, then, what that means is that if the governor says he doesn't want the power plants there, they wouldn't be there.
We have people that have marched with us, elected officials, and they have denied that they were not aware of this power plant, and we find out that they were lying.
Well, the major justification for these 10 power plants was that there was going to be an impending energy crisis in New York City come summer. And they pointed to the situation in California where there's widespread blackouts and a lot of mismanagement of the state energy supply. Well, in the heat of all of that propaganda, the state forced the power plants on our community, saying they were going to be only temporary and permitted for 3 years only. It turned out later that the energy crisis in California was fictitious, totally created, a big scam linked to Enron accounting scandal and a big corporate theft of our public money. It was the suppliers of the energy that were withholding the energy from the market to create sky-high prices.
It was Bloomberg who said you couldn't put any of these waste disposal facilities on Park Avenue because then you would erode the city's revenue base, tax revenue base. The people in Park Avenue would not put up with it. But we can't flee. We don't have the economic resources to flee.
It's really environmental racism. If you walk around and you look around anywhere in the country, all these projects that pollute the community, that make people sick, Cancer Alley down south, Asthma Alley between the South Bronx and Barrio, all these polluting things are in community of color and poor, uneducated communities. And they put it there because they figure these people are just a bunch of and they won't fight back.
Basta ya, enough is enough.
We want to talk about an exit strategy as well as an offset strategy.
Now we want to have more trees planted, we want to reduce the truck traffic in the area, and we want to have solar panels on some of the schools and community centers in the area. That would be significant offset strategies that can help us make up for some of the pollution that has been created and help the exit strategy for removing these power plants in the first place.
The exit strategy basically is, when are these plants going to go?
It's about una mejoría, you know, an improvement of our life. And the only way we could do it is fighting all these issues, not one separate. It's just, as I said, you know, building and uniting different kind of movements into one.
So whenever in the future they want to build something, they have to come up with it through the community first.
Need to get up right now and move with this. Yes, this means you.
Research, find out where power plants being put up.
Let these corporations know that the abuse is not going to be tolerated anymore. That we backed up already as much as we can, and now we have no other place to back up to. So all we have left is to go forward. And we're going to go forward by actions, by demonstrations, by rallies, by cultural events.
Get involved with organizations like BEAC, the Bronx Environmental Action Coalition, that community-based organizations like mine, St. Benedict Moore, and Downtown Bronx Eco Development Corporate.
A youth group called Youth Taking Over. We started it.
From within the school, there are a number of things that can be done with the students as well, with the parents and with the staff. First thing is, let the people have the information.
This is your community. Help it make it better. If you don't care now, think about it, because it will affect your future. So.
We are the change agents. We can make a difference. If we don't try to make a difference, that's when things continue to be the status quo.
Que tenemos el poder para hacer cambios, pero si no nos involucramos, no va a haber estos cambios. No tenemos dinero, pero tenemos gente.
Sometimes you gotta be direct with the people. Like,
come on.
Yo!
Give it to 'em.
Get up now!
We keep it tight, raw. We know exactly what we fight for. When the nightfall come, we in the right war. Capture spittle blood for a cause, not just because. Defy the authority and follow God's law. Revolutionary entrepreneurs who make the fans clap their hands and stomp on the floor. Now start the applause. Thank you very much. Without further ado, let me introduce the rest of my crew.
I am the world renowned. Verb, adjective, adverb, pronoun, preposition, suffix, prefix, original or remix. Sunburst and eclipse. Me and Quack combine like strands on a double helix. My speech season, but dialect of my region. Moving on Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Easton, where youth and policemen that now reach agreement. Pressure in the morning, pressure in the evening. Most definitely. High tech on the beat.